The phone buzzed in Lyle's pocket like a grenade about to explode, right as he knelt down on one knee in the middle of his family's annual 4th of July barbecue in suburban Chicago. His fiancée, Emily, gasped with delight, her hands flying to her mouth as the crowd of relatives cheered. But Lyle's heart hammered not with joy, but terror, because the incoming call was from Jordan, the man he'd been seeing in secret for months, and he knew ignoring it could unravel everything. In that frozen moment, as fireworks cracked overhead, Lyle silenced the phone and slipped the ring on Emily's finger, but the damage was already done. Jordan's voicemail, left in a voice raw with betrayal, would force him to confront the life he'd built on lies. Lyle had always been the golden boy of the Thompson family, straight-A student, star quarterback in high school, now a rising associate at a prestigious law firm in downtown Chicago. His parents, devout Catholics from a tight-knit community in Oak Park, had raised him with clear expectations. Marry a nice girl, start a family, uphold the values that had kept generations of Thompsons respectable. But deep down, Lyle had known since his teens that he didn't fit that mold. He'd buried those feelings under layers of denial, dating girls to blend in, excelling at everything to distract from the gnawing emptiness inside. That is, until he met Jordan 6 months ago at a networking event for young professionals. Jordan was everything Lyle wasn't. Openly gay, unapologetically himself, a graphic designer from a liberal family in San Francisco who'd moved to Chicago for a fresh start after a bad breakup. They connected over shared laughs about corporate jargon, but soon their conversations turned deeper, revealing vulnerabilities Lyle had never shared with anyone. One night, after too many drinks at a rooftop bar overlooking Lake Michigan, Jordan leaned in and kissed him. Lyle pulled away at first, panic surging through him, but then he kissed back, and in that instant, the world shifted. For the first time, he felt seen, alive, not just performing a role. Their relationship blossomed in stolen moments. Late-night walks along the Chicago River, hidden dinners in out-of-the-way cafes, weekends holed up in Jordan's loft apartment in Wicker Park. Jordan pushed Lyle to be honest with himself, whispering promises of a future where they didn't have to hide. "You deserve to live your truth," he'd say, his hand tracing Lyle's jawline. But Lyle resisted, terrified of the fallout. His father, a stern construction company owner, had once disowned a cousin for coming out, calling it a choice against God and family. His mother, ever the peacemaker, would crumble under the shame. And Emily, she was kind, ambitious, a pediatric nurse who'd been his best friend since college. Marrying her was the safe path, the one that kept everyone happy except him. As the engagement party wound down that July evening, Lyle excused himself to the backyard, the ring on Emily's finger glinting like a shackle in his mind. He listened to Jordan's voicemail, his voice breaking. "Lyle, I can't do this anymore. If you go through with this, you're choosing them over us. Call me back, or it's over." Lyle's hands shook as he deleted the message, but the words lingered like a scar. He told himself it was just nerves, that he could compartmentalize, keep Jordan as his secret escape while building the life his family expected. But that night, lying beside Emily in their shared bed, he stared at the ceiling, the weight of his double life pressing down like a vice. The next morning, Lyle met Jordan at a coffee shop in Lincoln Park, away from prying eyes. Jordan looked wrecked, dark circles under his eyes, his usual easy smile replaced by a hard line. "You proposed to her," he said flatly, not a question. Lyle nodded, guilt twisting in his gut. "It's not what you think. I love you, but my family, they wouldn't understand. This engagement buys me time." Jordan slammed his cup down, drawing stares from nearby patrons. "Time for what? To string me along while you play house? I'm not your dirty secret, Lyle. I deserve better." The argument escalated, voices low but fierce, until Jordan stood up. "Choose me openly or this ends now." Lyle begged for understanding, but Jordan walked out, leaving Lyle alone with his cooling coffee and a storm of regret. Back at work that week, Lyle threw himself into cases, burying the turmoil under depositions and briefs. But the cracks were showing. Emily noticed his distraction, attributing it to wedding stress, and planned a surprise dinner with his parents to discuss venues. As they sat around the table in his childhood home, his father raised a glass to Lyle and Emily, carrying on the Thompson legacy. Lyle forced a smile, but inside, he was screaming. That night, he texted Jordan, "I can't lose you. Meet me tomorrow." Jordan's reply was curt, "One last chance." They met in Grant Park, under the shadow of the Buckingham Fountain. Jordan arrived wary, arms crossed. Lyle poured out his fears. The potential loss of his job in a conservative firm, the rejection from his church community, the pain he'd inflict on Emily. "It's not just about me," Lyle said. "Coming out would destroy everyone I love." Jordan softened slightly, pulling him into a hug. "Or it could free you. Us." They talked for hours, Jordan sharing stories of his own coming out, the initial hurt but eventual acceptance from his family. For a moment, Lyle glimpsed a possible future, one where he didn't have to choose between love and loyalty. But as they parted, Lyle's phone rang, his mother, excited about dress shopping. The reminder snapped him back to reality. Over the following weeks, the tension built like a gathering storm. Lyle continued seeing Jordan in secret, each encounter laced with urgency and desperation. They'd argue about timelines, Jordan pushing for honesty, Lyle stalling with excuses. One evening, after a particularly heated fight in Jordan's apartment, Lyle stormed out, only to return hours later, apologizing profusely. "I need you," he admitted, collapsing into Jordan's arms. But the secrecy was eroding them both. Jordan started pulling away, canceling plans, his texts growing shorter. Lyle felt the noose tightening, knowing he couldn't sustain this forever. Then came the turning point. Emily found a stray text on Lyle's phone from Jordan, innocuous but affectionate. "Who's this?" she asked casually over breakfast. Lyle lied smoothly, saying it was a work colleague, but her eyes narrowed with doubt. That seed of suspicion planted, Lyle knew the facade was crumbling. He had to decide, confess to Emily and risk everything, or end things with Jordan to salvage his planned life. As he lay awake that night, the choice loomed like a guillotine, each option promising its own brand of devastation. The suspicion in Emily's eyes lingered like a shadow, forcing Lyle to double down on his deception. He became overly attentive, planning romantic outings and whispering sweet nothings, all while his mind raced with thoughts of Jordan. At work, his focus slipped. A senior partner pulled him aside after a botched presentation. "Get your head in the game, Thompson. We don't tolerate distractions here." Lyle nodded, promising improvement, but inside, he was unraveling. The pressure from all sides, family expectations, societal norms, his own moral compass, created a vortex of anxiety that left him sleepless and irritable. Jordan, meanwhile, was reaching his breaking point. He'd started confiding in a close friend, Marcus, about the situation. "He's engaged, man. What am I doing?" Marcus advised him to cut ties, but Jordan couldn't. "He says he loves me. I believe him." Their meetings grew rarer, each one a battlefield of emotions. One afternoon in a quiet corner of the Art Institute of Chicago, surrounded by masterpieces that mocked their turmoil, Jordan issued an ultimatum. "Tell Emily the truth by the end of the month, or I'm done." Lyle agreed, but as the deadline approached, panic set in. How could he shatter Emily's world? She was innocent in this, dreaming of a white picket fence and kids. The family added fuel to the fire. Lyle's sister, Sarah, visited from New York, excited about being a bridesmaid. Over dinner at a steakhouse in the Loop, she teased him about cold feet. "Don't mess this up. Bro, Emily's perfect for you." His parents chimed in, sharing stories of their own marriage, emphasizing commitment and sacrifice. Lyle felt like a fraud, nodding along while his stomach churned. That night, he drove to Jordan's place unannounced. "I can't do it yet," he confessed. Jordan's face hardened. "Then we're through." The door slammed, echoing in Lyle's ears as he stood in the hallway, tears streaming down his face. Desperate, Lyle sought solace in unexpected places. He attended a support group for LGBTQ professionals in a community center in Boys Town, slipping in anonymously. Hearing others share stories of coming out, lost jobs, estranged families, but also newfound freedom, stirred something in him. One man, older and wiser, spoke of regretting years wasted in the closet. "The pain of hiding is worse than the pain of truth," he said. Lyle left shaken, but not ready. Instead, he threw himself into wedding preparations, helping Emily pick invitations and venues, each decision a nail in his coffin of denial. Emily's doubts festered. She started checking his phone when he showered, finding nothing because Lyle had become meticulous about deleting evidence. But the tension between them mounted. During a cake tasting, she snapped at him for zoning out. "What's going on with you, Lyle? Are you having second thoughts?" He denied it vehemently, pulling her into a kiss that felt mechanical. Later, alone in his car, he called Jordan, who answered coldly. "I miss you," Lyle whispered. Jordan sighed. "Prove it." They reconciled tentatively, meeting in a motel on the outskirts of the city to avoid detection. The passion was there, but so was the resentment. "This isn't sustainable," Jordan said afterward, staring at the ceiling. Lyle knew he was right, but the fear paralyzed him. Back home, Emily confronted him about a late-night absence. "Where were you really?" Lyle fabricated a work emergency, but her trust was eroding. The lies piled up, each one heavier than the last. As the engagement party loomed, a lavish affair planned by his mother at a country club in the suburbs, Lyle's world began to intersect dangerously. Jordan, fed up, threatened to show up and expose everything. "If you won't tell them, I will," Lyle pleaded, promising to come clean after the party. But deep down, he doubted his own resolve. The night before the event, he met Jordan in a park under cover of darkness. "Give me time," he begged. Jordan relented, but with a warning, "Time's running out." The party was a whirlwind of congratulations and toasts. Lyle stood beside Emily, smiling for photos, but his mind was elsewhere. His father pulled him aside, clapping him on the back. "Proud of you, son. This is what life's about. Family, stability." The words stung like accusations. Midway through, Lyle's phone vibrated. A text from Jordan. "I can't watch this from afar. I'm coming." Panic surged. Lyle excused himself, racing to the parking lot to call him off. "Please don't. It'll ruin everything." Jordan's voice was steel. "That's the point." In the end, Jordan didn't show, but the close call shattered Lyle's composure. He returned to the party a ghost, barely engaging. Emily noticed, pressing him later in the car. "Talk to me, Lyle. Whatever it is, we can fix it." He wanted to confess then, but the words stuck in his throat. Instead, he kissed her forehead and said, "It's nothing." That lie cost him dearly. Emily withdrew, her warmth turning to caution. The aftermath rippled through his life. At work, rumors of his distraction reached HR, prompting a performance review. His boss hinted at probation if things didn't improve. With Jordan, communication became sporadic, laced with accusations. "You're choosing comfort over courage," Jordan texted one night. Lyle replied, "It's not that simple." But his indecision was a choice, one that hurt everyone involved. As summer faded into fall, the wedding date inched closer, set for the following spring. Lyle's internal conflict intensified, manifesting in nightmares where he stood at the altar, torn between Emily and Jordan. He sought therapy secretly, a counselor in the city who specialized in identity issues. "You're living a divided life," the therapist said. "Integration is the only path to peace." Lyle nodded, but action eluded him. Then, a bombshell. Emily announced she was pregnant. Over dinner at their apartment, she presented the test with tears of joy. Lyle's world stopped. "We're having a baby," she said, hugging him. He hugged back, numb, as joy warred with horror. This changed everything. The stakes skyrocketed. Fatherhood meant permanence, a role he couldn't abandon. That night, he messaged Jordan, "We need to talk, in person." They met at a bench overlooking Navy Pier, the Ferris wheel turning lazily in the background. Lyle broke the news, his voice trembling. Jordan's face crumpled. So that's it? You're staying with her? Lyle reached for him, but Jordan pulled away. Congratulations on your perfect life. He walked off, leaving Lyle shattered on the bench, the city lights blurring through his tears. The pregnancy announcement hit like a seismic shift, locking Lyle into a path he hadn't fully chosen. Emily glowed with excitement, scheduling doctor's appointments and dreaming aloud about nurseries. Lyle played the part of the thrilled father-to-be, but inside, guilt gnawed at him relentlessly. He'd ended things with Jordan definitively that night at Navy Pier, blocking his number to prevent temptation. It's for the best, he told himself, but the void Jordan left was a gaping wound. Work became his refuge, though even there, the strain showed. A major case went south due to his oversight, earning a reprimand from the partners. Shape up, Thompson, or ship out, his mentor warned. Lyle doubled his hours, burying emotions under legal jargon. At home, Emily's morning sickness added to the tension. She leaned on him more, oblivious to his turmoil. His family rallied around the news, his mother knitting baby blankets, his father offering financial advice. This is God's plan, his dad said during a Sunday dinner. Lyle forced agreement, but the hypocrisy burned. Months passed, winter blanketing Chicago in snow. Lyle's therapy sessions intensified, the counselor challenging his excuses. You're not just hurting yourself. You're deceiving Emily and potentially your child. The words haunted him. One icy evening, while shoveling the driveway, Lyle slipped and fell, the physical pain mirroring his emotional state. As he lay there, staring at the stars, a clarity pierced the fog. He couldn't raise a child in a loveless marriage, but action required courage he lacked. Instead, he unblocked Jordan's number, scrolling through old messages like a masochist. Jordan had moved on, or so social media suggested, posts from bars with friends, a new city adventure. Jealousy flared, irrational but potent. Lyle resisted contacting him, focusing on prenatal classes with Emily. There, surrounded by happy couples, he felt like an imposter, his smiles plastic. The conflict escalated when Sarah, his sister, visited for Christmas. Perceptive as ever, she cornered him in the kitchen. You look miserable, Lyle. What's really going on? He deflected, but she pressed. Is it the baby? Cold feet. Finally, under her gaze, he cracked slightly. I'm scared I'm not who everyone thinks I am. Sarah hugged him. Whoever you are, we love you. Her words planted a seed of hope, but fear uprooted it. New Year's Eve brought a confrontation Lyle couldn't avoid. Emily, now showing, suggested a quiet night in. As fireworks lit the sky, she turned to him. I feel like you're drifting away. Tell me the truth. Lyle's heart raced. This was his moment. But instead, he lied again. Just work stress, babe. I love you. Emily accepted it, but doubt lingered in her eyes. The dam broke in February during a routine ultrasound. Seeing the baby's heartbeat, Lyle was overwhelmed. Not with joy, but responsibility. That night, he confessed to Emily in their living room, the words tumbling out. I'm gay, Emily. I've been struggling with this for years. There was someone else, a man. Her face drained of color, then twisted in anguish. How long? Who? Lyle told her everything, sparing no details. She slapped him, tears streaming. You used me. What about our child? The fight raged for hours, ending with Emily storming to her parents' house. Alone in the apartment, Lyle called his parents, voice breaking as he came out. His mother's sobs echoed through the phone. How could you do this to us? To Emily? His father was silent at first, then explosive. You're no son of mine if you choose this path. The rejection cut deep, but a strange relief followed. For the first time, he wasn't hiding. The fallout was swift and brutal. Emily's family demanded he sign away rights to the child, though she wavered on that. At work, whispers spread after he confided in a colleague. The conservative firm sidelined him from client-facing roles. Friends divided, some supportive, others distancing themselves. Lyle moved to a small apartment in Logan Square, the isolation amplifying his regrets. In the midst of chaos, Jordan reached out via a mutual friend. "Heard what happened. You okay?" Lyle's reply was tentative. "No, but trying." They met for coffee, the air thick with unresolved pain. Jordan looked guarded. "You destroyed us both, Lyle." Lyle nodded. "I know."
I'm sorry.
The conversation was raw, accusations flying. "You chose fear over love," Jordan said. Lyle countered, "I was wrong, but I'm changing." Their reconnection was cautious, built on honesty this time. Jordan had dated others but admitted lingering feelings. As spring approached, they navigated the debris of Lyle's life together. Family tensions simmered. His mother reached out sporadically, his father stonewalled. Emily, after therapy, agreed to co-parenting, her anger softening to sorrow. But society's judgment loomed large. At a pride event Jordan dragged him to, Lyle felt exposed, whispers and stares reminding him of the stigma in his old circles. A former friend confronted him at a bar. "You betrayed everyone. Was it worth it?" The question echoed Lyle's doubts. The co-parenting agreement with Emily was a fragile truce, signed in a lawyer's office with tension thick as fog. She looked at him with a mix of pity and resentment. "I hope you find peace, Lyle, but you've broken something that can't be fixed." He nodded, the weight of his choices pressing down. The baby, a boy they named Liam, was due in summer. Lyle vowed to be involved, but Emily set boundaries. No Jordan around the child initially. Rebuilding with Jordan was a minefield. Trust eroded by months of deceit. Their dates were laced with arguments. One night at a restaurant in Andersonville, Jordan snapped. "Every time your phone rings, I wonder if it's her, or if you're hiding something else." Lyle reassured him, but the scars ran deep. They attended couples counseling, unpacking the betrayal. "I felt like a shadow in your life," Jordan admitted. Lyle owned it. "I was a coward." Family reconciliation proved thornier. His mother invited him to Easter dinner, but without Jordan. "Baby steps," she said. Lyle went alone, the atmosphere strained. His father barely spoke, muttering about lifestyle choices. Sarah mediated, pulling Lyle aside. "Give them time. They're processing." But time felt like a luxury. The disapproval fueled Lyle's self-doubt. At work, the firm offered a transfer to a more progressive branch in New York, a veiled demotion. Lyle accepted, seeing it as a fresh start. Jordan, tied to Chicago for his job, faced a dilemma. "Move with me?" Lyle asked over dinner. Jordan hesitated. "After everything? I need to know you're all in." The decision hung like a sword. Society's pressures amplified the drama. A conservative uncle posted a rant on social media about family values, tagging Lyle indirectly. Comments poured in, some supportive, others vicious. Lyle deleted his accounts, but the hate seeped in. At a support group meeting, he shared his story, finding solidarity. "You're not alone," a member said. It helped, but didn't erase the isolation. The birth of Liam in July was a whirlwind. Lyle held his son in the hospital, emotions crashing over him. Love, regret, hope. Emily allowed Jordan a brief visit later, a tentative olive branch. "He's beautiful," Jordan said, eyes softening. But the moment underscored the complexity. Lyle's life now intertwined three people in a web of shared history. Post-birth, conflicts flared. Emily's parents pushed for full custody, citing Lyle's instability. A court hearing loomed, draining his savings. Jordan supported him, but resentment bubbled. "This is the price of your delay," he said during a fight. Lyle lashed out. "You think I don't know that?" The argument ended in silence, both retreating to corners. As fall set in, Lyle's move to New York approached. Jordan decided to join, quitting his job for freelance work. "I'm betting on us," he said, but doubts lingered. On moving day, a call from his father came unexpectedly. "I don't approve, but you're still my son. Visit with him." It was progress, bittersweet. In New York, they settled in Brooklyn, the city's vibrancy a balm. But old wounds reopened when Emily visited with Liam. Seeing Jordan interact with the baby stirred jealousy in her, leading to a heated exchange. "You stole my future," she accused Lyle. He apologized again, but words felt hollow. The ultimate betrayal came from within. In a moment of weakness, Lyle confided in Jordan about lingering doubts, wondering if he'd rushed into this new life. Jordan exploded. "After all I've endured? If you're not sure, leave." Lyle backpedaled, but the damage was done. Jordan packed a bag, staying with a friend. Alone in the apartment, Lyle hit rock bottom, questioning every choice. Reconciliation required sacrifice. Lyle quit the firm, pursuing pro bono work for LGBTQ rights, aligning his career with his identity. He reached out to Jordan. "I'm committed. No more half measures." Jordan returned, wary but willing. They rebuilt slowly, therapy helping navigate the terrain. But the costs mounted. His relationship with his father remained fractured. Holidays tense. Emily found love elsewhere, but co-parenting stayed challenging. Society's acceptance varied. Support in the city, judgment from old ties. In the rhythm of New York life, Lyle and Jordan forged a tentative stability. Mornings began with coffee in their small kitchen, discussions about Liam's visits blending with plans for their future. Lyle's new job at a nonprofit invigorated him, advocating for others facing similar struggles. "This is my redemption," he told Jordan one evening as they walked through Central Park. Jordan squeezed his hand. "It's our story now." Yet, echoes of the past persisted. Family gatherings in Chicago were minefields. His mother's tentative acceptance clashed with his father's grudging tolerance. During Thanksgiving, an argument erupted when his dad questioned Jordan's place at the table. "This isn't natural," he grumbled. Lyle stood firm. "Love is love, Dad. Accept it or lose me." The standoff ended in uneasy peace, but the rift lingered. Emily's new relationship brought complications. Her boyfriend, a straight-laced accountant, viewed Lyle with suspicion. During a custody mediation, he influenced her to push for reduced visitation. "You're a risk," she claimed, citing Lyle's chaotic coming out. The court battle drained them emotionally and financially, but Lyle won shared custody, proving his stability. Jordan's sacrifices weighed heavily. Leaving Chicago meant rebuilding his career from scratch. Freelance gigs were sporadic. "I gave up a lot for you," he said during a quiet night. Lyle acknowledged it. "And I'll spend my life making it worth it." They adopted a dog, a symbol of commitment, naming him Scout after their shared love of literature. Society's mirror reflected both progress and prejudice. At a pride parade, they marched hand in hand, cheers bolstering their resolve. But back in conservative pockets, like a business trip to the Midwest, Lyle faced slurs that reopened old wounds. "It never fully goes away," he confided in therapy. The true awakening came during Liam's first birthday. Surrounded by a blended family, Emily, her boyfriend, Jordan, and Lyle's parents, the event was awkward but poignant. Seeing his son laugh in Jordan's arms, Lyle realized the beauty in the mess. His choices, flawed and painful, had led to this mosaic of love. Years blurred, Liam growing into a curious toddler. Lyle and Jordan married in a small ceremony in the Hamptons, vows exchanged under a clear sky. His father attended, a silent nod to acceptance. Emily gave a toast to new beginnings. The journey had cost friendships, careers, and innocence, but birthed authenticity. Reflecting on it all, Lyle wondered if the pain was inevitable. Had he chosen differently, stayed closeted, ended with Jordan sooner, would the damage be less? But in the quiet moments, holding Jordan as Liam slept nearby, he knew the truth set him free, albeit at a steep price.